A political storm erupted this week after Lieutenant-General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, one of South Africa's most senior law enforcement figures, called for journalists to be thoroughly investigated by state security agencies, a statement that has sent shockwaves through media circles, civil society, and opposition benches alike. The remarks, made during a tense parliamentary committee session on national intelligence oversight, have ignited fierce debate about freedom of the press, state overreach, and the fragile balance between national security and democracy. According to sources present in the closed-door meeting, Mkhwanazi expressed frustration over what he described as strategically leaked information that, in his view, had compromised several high-profile investigations and undermined the integrity of law enforcement. He reportedly argued that certain journalists operate as agents of destabilization, implying that their sources might have ties to political or foreign entities seeking to embarrass the state. His words, described by one opposition MP as deeply chilling, quickly leaked to the media, triggering outrage from journalists, editors, and human rights organizations across the country. The South African National Editors Forum, SONAF, issued a strongly worded statement, calling Mkhwanazi's comments an attack on the very foundation of democracy. Journalists are not enemies of the state, SONAF's statement read. They are watchdogs who ensure accountability, transparency, and justice. The suggestion that they should be subject to investigation by state security structures echoes the darkest chapters of South Africa's past. Within hours, social media was ablaze with hashtags like #HandsOffThePress and #MkhwanaziMustExplain, as citizens, activists, and opposition leaders condemned what many saw as a dangerous drift toward authoritarianism. The Democratic Alliance's spokesperson on security affairs accused Mkhwanazi of intimidation tactics reminiscent of apartheid-era policing, while the EFF's firebrand leaders went further, demanding his immediate suspension. However, within government ranks, reactions were more muted. Some ANC insiders privately admitted that Mkhwanazi's remarks were ill-timed but cautioned against overreacting, suggesting that his concerns about leaks from ongoing investigations were not entirely unfounded. "There's a real issue with information being weaponized for political gain," said one senior government official under condition of anonymity. But targeting journalists is not the solution. President Cyril Ramaphosa's office has yet to issue a formal statement, though insiders at the Union buildings reportedly described the situation as embarrassing and potentially explosive. One aide said that Ramaphosa's communications team is working carefully to contain the fallout and ensure that the incident does not deepen public distrust in state institutions. Meanwhile, Mkhwanazi himself has remained largely silent. When approached for comment outside a police strategy meeting in Pretoria, he dismissed questions with a terse, "I stand by my words, no one is above scrutiny, not even journalists." Legal experts, however, warn that such rhetoric, if followed by action, could violate constitutional protections for press freedom. Professor Themba Masiko, a constitutional law scholar at Wits University, said, "The state cannot simply investigate journalists because their reporting is inconvenient. That would amount to state censorship and abuse of power. It would also set a very dangerous precedent." As the controversy continues to unfold, civil society organizations are planning a national demonstration in defense of media freedom, calling it a stand for democracy. News outlets have also pledged unity, with several major publications planning coordinated editorials condemning Mkhwanazi's remarks and reaffirming their commitment to truth and accountability. Behind the public outrage, however, lies a deeper tension, one that has been building quietly for years. In an age of leaks, whistleblowers, and political factionalism, the boundary between national security and public interest has become increasingly blurred. Mkhwanazi's outburst, some analysts say, reflects a growing frustration within state structures that feel under siege from both within and without. But for many South Africans, the issue is simple. The right to know, to question, and to report even inconvenient truths remains sacred. As one prominent journalist put it, "We've seen what happens when the state controls information. Never again. Whether Mkhwanazi will retract his statement or face disciplinary action remains unclear. But one thing is certain: his comments have reignited a national conversation about power, accountability, and the indispensable role of a free press in a democratic society.